site visit considerations for tile roofs become a little bit more involved. Tile roofs can be a little bit more complicated, but not too difficult to tackle. So the main thing is you want to qualify the roof before getting on there and installing a solar system. So the main and heart of the roof, the main part of the roof, is the underlayment. So I got a piece of felt paper here, which we'll talk about a little bit. And obviously the tiles are something to consider, but we talked about the standard things like in the comp site consideration video. We talked about look in the attic for water stains, water intrusion issues at the chimney or skylight. You want to vet those out, make sure there's no damage on the roof before getting in there and installing. But for tile roofs, you want to look at things like the underlayment. A lot of times the valley is a very good indicator of water intrusion, and I'll explain that here in a second. But you also want to look at the condition of the tiles. Sometimes you might have dislodged tiles or cracked tiles or damaged tiles. So here's an example of a tile just by walking on it, this chipping out from walking, but not the end of the world there, but you do want to replace it if you can. In the case of using tile replacement flashings, you get all those extra tiles, so why not replace the tiles that might be broken? But you sometimes get hairline fractures in these tiles that can break, and just walking around on the tiles, it's not easy, so you want to make sure you're light-footed, and obviously stepping on the tile roof at the batten or where they're overlapping so it's stronger, but sometimes you have to do what you have to do and you end up breaking a tile. One of the times I got on a tile roof just the other day, I stepped right from the ladder and broke a tile right when I got on the job site. So just to avoid that, make sure you make a note and you go back and replace that. But for your site visit, you want to open up the roof, take out a tile, which you can do with a roofing bar like this by sliding it under, propping up to the top right and the bottom left of the tile you want to remove. That way it unlocks all the pressure onto that tile, and then you can pop the nail out if there is one in, or just pop the tile out by itself. And then you look at the condition of the underlayment. Now there's going to be a lot of debris under there and tile, concrete dust. That's not a problem. Just wish it away, look at it, take a look with the flashlight and make sure it's in good condition. Because what can happen, as I mentioned, in the valleys of tile roofs, you have what's called closed cut valleys and open cut valleys, and those are good indicators. The valley is a good indicator of the condition of the roof. The reason why you want to know about closed cut valley versus open cut valley is because it's just a different style of tile roofing, and there's a flashing there, but they might be more exposed or tucked underneath the closed cut valley tile. So in the valley, water gets in, debris gets in, sometimes it can clog that drainage system and start to pool across the battens and across the tiles and then degrade the underlayment. So like I said, the heart of a tile roof is the underlayment. The tiles are not actually waterproof. You have to remove the tile and see that the water shedding actually is at the primary waterproofing layer, which is the underlayment. So in this case, I have a little piece of felt. This is basically paper that's impregnated with asphalt material. So it's designed to shed water out, but not hold standing water. So in those valleys, sometimes you get water pooling, debris pooling, leaves and things collecting and going across and sitting on the felt paper and underlayment and starting to deteriorate it, and then it can break it open, dry, crack, and corrode, and then water starts to work itself in, and you can get some dry rot from the water intrusion on the plywood, and you could repair that in that section. So if something like that happens and you're not a roofer, that's where you want to call in your roofer. You want to make sure you have an agreement with a good roofer. If you're working in a tile area and you're not a tile roofer, you want to get in touch with the tile roofer to make sure these repairs get done properly and you're honest with the homeowner. So again, site visits, look for dislodged tiles, cracked tiles, stains in the attic, as we mentioned before, but of course the condition of the underlayment before you do the solar installation. So if you have any questions about this, you can contact our technical department and we can help guide you through this, but you want to make your own list and make a thorough site inspection so your install team doesn't have any surprises on the roof.